waiting for this crash that's inevitable. I think we haven't had a recession in, it's been 11 years. And, I was pretty young. I was in late high school, when that happened. So, I was in high school. So I really and I know you've got a different perspective because you've probably, you lived through it more than I did. I was just becoming an adult then, but, that affected a lot of people's lives. But I think having cash then, being able to buy into real estate and the stocks and all of that, even if people who bought stocks and crypto in March, you made a killing because if you had a bunch of cash and moved it in. That's what I'm thinking. I feel like in life right now, I could sell the top and everything else, but at least crypto right now. Stocks for sure, real estate for sure. So I'm kind of interested in cash right now. I'm actually interested in the US dollar. And a lot of people don't have this perspective, but I just for some reason had an epiphany. Like if I'm holding cash and as long as the United States dollar doesn't collapse, as long as it doesn't go Venezuela on us and it recovers, we should be good. As long as the United States dollar doesn't fail. What are your thoughts on that? I know, like I said, you've got other investments too in real estate.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like if you want to succeed, you want to be thinking 6 months ahead of what everyone else is thinking right now. And I completely agree with you. In fact, let me tell you a little story about what I just did in that regard. I just refinanced my duplex, one of my duplexes that I own in Lake Tahoe that, went up like crazy.
Yep.
And I pulled $160,000 out of it.
Yep.
And it's sitting there and I'm even paying interest on it. I'm paying 4% interest on this $160,000. And people are like, that's so dumb, the dollar. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking exactly what you're thinking. When you make your money in investments is the buy, not the sell, right? It's when you buy low. And that's what I did in 2012. I picked that duplex up when nobody else wanted real estate. And that's what's going to happen when real estate, I don't think there's going to be a real estate crash, by the way, because the banks learned their lesson of the 2008 housing crisis. Mm-hmm. But what is going to happen is that the liquidity is going to dry up in the commercial, especially, but also residential lending markets. And banks are going to tighten up the reins on their lending. And they're going to say, you know what, we don't want to give you these easy loans anymore because we're worried about, ability to repay. And that's when the deals are going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's going. I totally agree with you. The economy is kind of out of control, so it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too, to some degree. Like that's sort of my plan at this point. I want to have enough stocks, real estate, crypto, that if we keep going to the moon, so to speak, I'm not going to miss the whole ride. But I always like, we call it investing called dry powder. It's like you're in the war and you got your gun loaded, ready to take out the enemy, and you got your dry gunpowder, ready to shoot at the target, and that's what you're talking about. You always need to have some dry powder. So yeah, I totally agree. And but the thing I was going to say about real estate is, the thing I love about real estate, and I always talk about real estate. I lose half my followers because they're like, don't talk about real estate, but I still love talking about real estate.
And I love guys who talk about real estate. So
what's that?
And I love guys who talk about real estate. So because it's always.
The thing about real estate is it pays you while you wait. So
that.
if you buy a good rental, you make passive income on it when the market is doing this while you're waiting, and that's how you win the game, is by getting your investment to pay you no matter if it's up or down. So. The other thing, I don't know how big your house is, but the other thing is keep your house because it costs money to sell the house. You got to hire a realtor, everything, and just put a renter in and go on a family road trip or something. Then you don't get to sell at the top, but it's a way to, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, keep cash flow, have some cash flow, coming in and all that too. I see what you're saying. But yeah, I think, I don't think, and I think maybe we're in the minority of probably crypto TikTokers, but I know a lot of people hate the US dollar right now, but I'm actually not as bearish on the US dollar as most crypto people are. I still see a big opportunity with the US dollar, just in terms of being able to buy cheaper crypto, especially if turns out we are in a bear market. Like I said, sell the top of real estate, for example, buy the bottom of crypto. That's kind of what I'm saying. The people who don't have, if you're trying to make it, if you're trying to get that pure, financial freedom. Like I said, I own a business too. And I know, like I said, I know you live, and the traveling RV, that's freaking awesome. You've got real estate and all that. And that's what I'm trying to build up as well. So I have, obviously I'm trying to have my multiple incomes as well, through the business, through cryptocurrency, through sponsorships and all of that. But that's what I'm trying to build up, as a fund to buy more crypto, and then a fund to start real estate. So with that real estate money, I obviously wanted to put it into more real estate. And my hope with the cryptocurrency profits was to sell the top of the market here. If everything would have been hunky-dory, we'd see a 300K Bitcoin and all of that, a huge market, sell at the top. And then I would have that money in the bear market to start into real estate, get some passive income flow where I can dollar cost average during the 2 year bear market, and then, continue to build the empire from there. From your experience, how have you best accomplished that, in terms of getting the cash flow to invest in more crypto?
Yeah. Well, it's really helpful at some point in your life just to figure out how to make a lot of money, right? Yeah. You need a few high earning years where you can get the money to seed your investments and stuff, and then learn how to use IRAs, because when you're making, I had several years where I was making over 200K, which isn't super rich. I think that's one of the reasons why people like us on TikTok, because People don't want to hear about guys making $1 million a year. That's not relatable, you know? People want to hear about people who are successful, but also have figured out a strategy to make life work without being like a multi-millionaire. And, you know, tax strategy. So I do a lot of my investing in an IRA, self-directed IRA. And everybody should know about this. If you have a business, you can put up to $50,000 a year tax-free into an IRA and use that to buy real estate, use it to buy stocks, use it to buy crypto, and pay zero taxes on your trades. And I mean, it's the greatest thing ever.